Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah! Hey now! It's almost a weekend. Therapy Thursday it is, you scallywags, nutmeggers, conversationalists, and of course you haters. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. Pleasure to be here. How do I start today? I got so much stuff that I got to get into, but I want to tell my buddies, my cohorts, Sam the Man on the Street, Mark Walsh, Adam 12. Those are my guys, and they're my guys. I stand with them always. I just want to let them know I always got their back because they've always got mine. And we are a team. We're always going to be a team, guys. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. What we want to do, what we are trying to do, is to fix a broken system. And we're going to hold the people who need to be held accountable. That's what we're always going to do. And we're doing it with a shoestring budget, I might add. Let's just acknowledge it. There are no sponsors, which keeps our work pure. There's nobody funding us. We are doing it from the bottom of the heart. Hopefully there will be a payday for these gentlemen just one day. But I love them, and they love what I'm trying to do, and I know they do, and I'm very, very dedicated, and I will always appreciate them for that. And I gotta show love to my wife as well, who is a maniac. Sometimes I gotta. Whoever these people are who are out there, please know, like saying that Roseanne is behaving like she's from the ghetto is because she's from the ghetto. Please understand that. I'm from the ghetto. Please understand that. You're not insulting us by saying that we're acting ghetto, that our vernacular is ghetto. You don't insult us. We're very, very strong-willed people who are comfortable with whom we are. We're not phony. We're not fake. We don't play the uppity role. We don't code switch. Never have, never will. We don't placate. We don't pretend. When I have to tell people all the time, especially people from the African American community, they always tell me this, and I have the perfect response to it too. They say, "I don't know, Reese, you don't act black," and I go, "Yes, because I'm not trying to win an Oscar or an Emmy. Are you acting black? I don't act. I am who I am. I don't have to act a certain way. That's a facade. I'm Reese on the radio. It's that simple. That's who I am. So if you want to put on a show, if you want to, code switch and act a certain way, that's fine. Yes. My wife is from the slums of San Antonio. I'm from the slums of Hollis, Queens. That's right. They're slums. We made something of ourselves, but we are who we are. We are where we were raised. We've done better for ourselves. We've improved our lives. But we have no problem with people calling us from where we are. We get it. We understand the difference. Recognizing where we come from grounds us in who we are. And we are not ashamed. So, Understand that when you speak to certain people a certain way and they respond a certain way, you have to understand where they come from, that what's rooted in them, how they protect themselves from all threats, from people who will speak to them in a certain way and think that that's okay. Some things are not tolerated. Mike Tyson says it very well. People talk a lot of smack until they get punched in the mouth. Then it's real. A lot of people have become very comfortable behind the keyboards. I can say all the reckless-ish I want. And that's why I say when they usually meet me, the first thing they do is they come in, hey, how you doing? How you? Wasn't any hard feelings, was it? And I'm a very kind and generous guy. Ask Matt Lesser. He'll tell you. That man's scared to death of me. He's always looking over his shoulder whenever I come into a room. He thinks like I'm going to leap on him or something. I don't know why. Matt, you got nothing to be afraid of. I want no parts of you. If I intimidate you in some sort of way, good. Good. If you're afraid of me, great. Nervous around me, fantastic. I love that. I love that. Love every bit of it. But don't worry, you're safe. You're safe with me. You're safer with me than you are with half the people who really, really don't like you. I don't really care for you. Anyway, so that being said, God bless you. God bless you all. This is not difficult for me to say, but it will be difficult for Democrats to hear. Democrats are the party of slavery, and that has never changed. They are comfortable with making people their slaves. They believe that people should work hard for nothing. It is in the DNA of the party. It is in the psychology of the liberal Democrat. Now, while a Democrat will tell you that's not true, we've never been that way, stop lying, it is very true. And I'm going to use the socialist model to prove my point. I'm going to take the likes of Josh Elliott. A perfect example that Josh Elliott is comfortable with slaves. Now he'll say, that's slander. Is it though? Is it? Perhaps I should explain. Allow me. What I'm about to play for you is something you have heard over and over and over again, but never once would you attribute it to slavery until you dig deep and pay very close attention to what they're saying. This is Nick Shirley. He's running around in New York City, much like he did up in Minnesota. But this time he's interviewing people in New York about socialism and communism. And he caught a man sitting at a park bench with his computer, and he asked him a simple question about millionaires and billionaires. Listen closely and tell me if he sounds like Josh Elliott or any other socialist or Democrat you've ever met.
It's so freaking stupid that billionaires are not paying taxes. And if they just paid their share, we would have health care for all, for instance.
You've heard that 1,000 times, right? You've had to heard that 1,000 times. How about this one?
Since Zoran's taken office, there's been about a lot of millionaires and billionaires have left the city, and now it's estimated that there's like $11 billion that will no longer be able to get collected from taxes here inside New York City. Do you think by taxing the rich, more people will flee New York?
No, and I don't believe those numbers. Everybody wants to be here, so there's no reason for them to leave.
They don't believe that there's a reason for them to leave, that they will stay. You remember Luke Bronin sat right across from me in that chair and said that somebody making $250,000 should get a third of their wages taxed. That someone making $1 million should have more than 40% of their wages taxed. They made an argument, Luke Bronin did, that back in the day there was a time where millionaires or billionaires were getting 70, 80, 90% of their wages taxed. 90%. And they were comfortable with that. They still are. But folks, what is that? What exactly is that? If you're taking 40, 50, 60% of what someone earns, at what level does it become indentured servitude? How about Medicare for all? Even if we were to tax everyone, that money would run out in about, 11 years. At that, what happens next? When all the money is taken and all of the money to pay for that medical care has been completely exhausted, what then? The doctors must care for them for free, right? At some point, when money cannot be paid to said individual, you then have to force them to work for nothing to pay for everyone else. How about seizing the means of production? If the government takes it, the government then doles out exactly what you should be paid, what the owner should be paid. These are things taken from them. Property even, right? These are all things we witnessed throughout slavery. Eminent domain. They will always be the party of slavery, folks. After a while, those who provide must do it for nothing. Because they've had it for far too long and someone else now gets to dictate what you do with it. What you earn, no longer yours. You are the creator, the inventor, the owner of, not anymore. Now you do it for nothing. Well, what else would you do, folks? You see, this guy who's talking about everybody wants to be here, listen.
Since Zoran's taken office, there's been about a lot of millionaires and billionaires have left the city, and now it's estimated that there's like $11 billion that will no longer be able to get collected from taxes here inside New York City. Do you think by taxing the rich, more people will flee New York?
No, and I don't believe those numbers. Everybody wants to be here, so there's no reason for them to leave.
There's no reason for them to leave? There's no reason for them to leave because everybody wants to be in New York, because of the vibe and stuff. We've got a vibe. Everybody wants to be here. It's weird. Everybody's living everywhere else, but everybody wants to be here. And guess what? We should just tax them and tax them and tax them because they want to be here. And they can keep giving to everybody else, so we can tax them as much as they want. They're never going to leave. Just give us all your money. Just give it all. That isn't to say, by the way, do they care about theft? No. Only the wealthy. They accuse the wealthy of stealing. And they say that that's wrong. But everyone else, nope, no problem.
Do you think if they just got rid of fraud, we'd have enough resources for everyone?
Just because some thieves are stealing some stuff doesn't mean that we should stop the system and stop taxing people and stop helping people just because some people cheat.
They don't care. Everyone wants to be here. Keep taxing them. It's okay if you steal. These people have no problem with theft. Do you remember the Black Lives Matter girl? After Ferguson, she said those people who were robbing the stores during the riots, that was a form of reparations. Those businesses deserve nothing. How dare them exist while there were people who were starving? How dare them exist while there were people out there who didn't have the latest Jordans on? Stealing your wages, stealing your wealth, stealing from your store or business. Isn't that what slavery does? It steals your worth. It steals your work. It steals your hard work. It steals everything you worked for. Because they deserve it. They are the new slave masters now. That's why they always will be the party of slavery. You work for nothing while they reap all the rewards. It's the thing. It's who they are. They keep saying that we need to pay, right? What do you think reparations is always about? They don't care how many trillions of dollars it is. The objective is to take everything that you have. It's payback time. I'm just saying. Lori says, and they're stealing from black business owners. Yeah, they have every intention of doing that too. They don't care. They are the party of slavery. You work for nothing. You give everything. And according to that guy and everybody else, you'll continue to work. You're going to continue to produce. Because if you don't, they'll make you. Go ahead and ask one a question. Go ask a socialist a question. What happens when the people who produce all of those things and who have all that money decide they have done and they're not going to give it anymore? Where are you going to get the money from? Ask them where. And they will tell you, we must make them work. We must make them produce. They'll tell you. They are not shy about it. We'll take a break. We'll be back at Reese on the Radio.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
All right, Reese on the Radio. We're back. More news and more views than you can shake a stick at. Today on the program, Chris Shea comes in at 4 o'clock. Last time he was scheduled to come in, he forgot he was supposed to come in and didn't. I haven't had any word that said he's not coming in, but we had him on the schedule for at least 2 weeks now, so he's supposed to come in. It's getting very, very heated between he and Jonathan DeBarros. We'll talk a little bit about that and, of course, about his campaign coming up. Of course, the primary is on August 11th. Also, we have listeners and entrepreneurs of HandyScribe coming to the program today. Can't wait for them. John and Lori and Danko are going to be my guests on the show as well. We are digging deep into this story about Melissa Ramirez, the drunk driver illegal who is responsible for the death of a Bridgeport police officer and his girlfriend, the mother of 3. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. Tomorrow, we will probably have more details than we expected to have. I'm not going to tell you who our source is, but we are embedded inside this court case. And we will have that information tomorrow. We will have documents in hand. So stand by for that, because the story that we're being told, and as people are trying to say, is something that doesn't seem to be true. So let me lay it out for you like this. Imagine you have someone with a particular name, Melissa Ramirez. Her birth date is unique, as are many birth dates. However, the likelihood that many people have the same birth date and the same name are slim to none. In a place like Connecticut, even slimmer. In New York, probably not so much. 8 million people versus 3.6 mil, highly unlikely. So we have a Melissa Ramirez with a birth date of July 4th, 1999. We have a voter registration with July 4th, 1999 with a woman of the same name. According to voting records, that individual has voted in not one, not two, but 3 elections. She got a voter registration immediately after she got a driver's license, allegedly, and participated in the 2022, and the 2024 elections. It does not say who she voted for. We do not have access to that, but we do have access that the person named Melissa Ramirez is registered as unaffiliated. Now, there's only one thread that we need to pull, and that is whether or not the person who was arrested for manslaughter is indeed the same person who has a voter registration. But only 2 things need to be uncovered. One, if indeed the woman who was arrested has a valid driver's license, not a drive only, valid driver's license. And whether or not that same person, based upon that information, will link to the person we have registered to vote. And then the jig is up. And then we can't ignore it anymore. It is no longer a one-off. Now, we know the governor's office is scrambling. We're in communications with the governor's office every day. Every day. We text with the governor's office every day. I'm not kidding. No days off. And they are responding to everything we ask them. And they are telling us, they are certain that these 2 women are not the same. We are being led down a different trail. We are, at this point, because of the person we spoke to today, we are closer to 99% positive that these are the same people. But we will know again tomorrow. So stand by for that. And like I said, we're getting to the bottom of stuff. We don't have to wait on the news to do anything, folks. We are the news. Just so you understand. And I mean that from the bottom. I'm telling everybody. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it offends. You're not the news anymore. You're just not. You were asked, and not by us. You were asked by the people who live in this state. Please cover the stuff that they care about. Please get in depth. Please get to the bottom of the stories that they care about. You told them pound sand. Fine. We said we're not going to complain. You dealt with the complaining. They're always complaining. They're not complaining anymore. Okay? So, like I tell everybody, we post this show live on Facebook, on X, on 2 pages on Facebook, and X, and on YouTube. Tell your friends. Frustrated with the news? Frustrated with the news coverage? Frustrated with the stuff that isn't being covered in your name or the stuff that you care about? Send them here. We'll do it for you. We are eager to do it. And we do it for free. Don't tell my wife that. We would do it for free. They don't want to cover it? We'll cover it. They don't want to care? We got you. That's what all of this is about. This is about doing the work that you want done. They don't want to do it? Fine. Don't need them. You can go there, we got traffic and weather here. If what you care about is bang, bang, shoot 'em up, neighbor die slow, if that's what you want to cover, they got it over there at every one of the networks for you. They love carrying that stuff. 4 people who were shot today. 7 people were killed today. 9 people drowned today. Yeah, they got that. We got that here too. But the stuff you care about, well, they're trying to run through the news, mad dash through the news. Let's get it all in 26 minutes, folks. I got 4 hours for you. With, of course, the occasional advertiser here and there. We got to pay for some of this. Just so you know. So we'll get to the bottom of that. Again, like I said, Chris Shea's here. Handy Scribe creator John Danko and his wife Lorianne will be here also on the program. We've got a new segment that we're going to start on the show. You know me, I always like to mix it up. And I thought about it yesterday when I mentioned the moment of Zen from The Daily Show. Back in the early days with Craig Kilborn, he used to do something like that, the moment of Zen. I think Jon Stewart did it too, the moment of Zen. And I figured we could do something like that, but I want to call it something different. So I've decided to call it the moment of dough. The moment of dough. And today's is perfect. We're going to play it throughout the show. Let me see. Do I have it here? Let me see. Where is it at here? Yes. Here it is. The moment of dough.
Well, if I become a punching bag, I'm a punching bag, but I am very happy to testify before any Congressional Oversight Committee. I have nothing to hide. I can explain and validate everything that I've done. So, it's going to be inconvenient if they actually are out there essentially threatening to make my life miserable, but I'm going to do what I need to do, and that is cooperate fully because we have nothing to hide.
Let's try something. What day of the week is it today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color tie are you wearing?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color is the carpet in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Your moment of dough. Let me see. Oh, speaking of the socialist, this is important. Try this on for size. CNN did a poll today that says 1/3 of Democrats now call themselves Democrat socialists. A new CNN poll conducted by SSRS shows that 1/3 of Democrats and Democrat-leaning adults now identify as Democrat socialists. The survey was taken from July 23rd through the 27th, it appears to be about 1,225 U.S. adults. The margin of error is plus or minus 3.2 points. These Democratic socialists are younger. 59% are under the age of 45 compared to 46% of other Democratic-aligned adults. They are more likely to be white, less likely to hold a college degree, and more likely earn just under $100,000 a year. They are also more motivated. 66% of them are registered voters that are in this group and are extremely motivated to vote this year versus the 57% of the rest of the Democratic coalition. Both groups still overwhelmingly back Democrat congressional candidates, 99% of them among the socialists, 94% among the others. They are nearly twice as likely to want the party to move left on policy. Nearly half, 48%, say they would be enthusiastic about a candidate who wants to cut off U.S. aid to Israel. That is one of their primary goals, and more people in the Democrat Party are aligned with them. The poll lands as Democratic Socialists have scored wins, of course, with Zohran Mamdani in New York and others. Now, I wish that were the scary part, but it gets scarier. Ladies, grab your girls, grab your daughters. You older women, grab your granddaughters. After I play this, you need to play this for them. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. This is important for you to share with your children, especially your girls. If this doesn't scare you, I don't know what will. This is Nick Shirley asking a young lady about illegals who sexually assault and or rape women in the city.
Let's just say somebody who has raped a woman.
Totally.
Would you like them to be out in the street?
I think my answer is yes, even though that's a challenging answer to say.
So if you got raped, would you like your rapist to be out in the street?
Oh, let me finish. Because I have been raped, and they are out in the street. And I'm not sure, them going to jail is a solution to, whatever's going on inside their heart, or even my own heart that, contributed to that experience that I'm having. And I don't want more people to get raped, but I don't know for certain that going into a jail in the United States is going to shift anything inside of their, operating system so that they'll make a different choice again.
Wow, well, thank you guys so much for your time. And is there one last message you'd like to give the people about potential the rise of communism or freeing the people inside the prisons?
Just like free yourself from the own prison in your heart.
What am I supposed to say? Grab your children. Don't worry, we'll make the video available online. Just go to Reese on the Radio on Facebook, on X. We'll make it available there. Just share it. We'll take a break. We'll come back. It's Reese on the Radio.
It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
I'm sorry. I'm here with Crystal, and we're working something out. Give me this thing real quick. Give me the flyer thing real quick. Okay. All right. I am going to see if I can pull this off. This might be insane, but I'm going to try to pull this off. So apparently tomorrow at 7:30, there was something called the Electric Avenue 1980s MTV Experience. This is happening tomorrow, the 31st, at the Talcott Mountain Music Festival, or at least that's what it's called, and it's Hartford Symphony, right? Yeah, and the rain date is August 1st. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to try to find a way to give 36 tickets away, but I got to figure out how I'm going to do it, and they are lawn seats to the event. These are lawn seats to the event. It says the Simsbury Meadow Performing Arts Center on Iron Horse Boulevard in Simsbury, Connecticut. So I have 36 grass tickets, and I have another one table ticket. I'm going to figure out how to give these away. Stand by. I will figure out in the next hour whether or not you can pick them up here or you can pick them up somewhere. I'll figure out a way to do it, but stand by. We will get you these tickets, and I'll deal with Crystal in a second when we can. Just leave those there. Crystal and I will figure something out. We'll probably get some people to come up today or tomorrow, but I know exactly how we're going to work this out. It's just I have to phrase it perfectly so that people can go if you want to go see the symphony. I want to go to that thing. Is it tomorrow night? Oh, I think I want to go. I could do it an 80s MTV experience. I don't know. We'll see. All right, we'll figure it out. You know what? We might be. I got the perfect idea for it. I'll take care of it. Okay, so when we come back, I have got to get into the new polling data that came out with Josh Elliott versus Lamont. Would you believe that Lamont's polling numbers are going down as a result to Josh Elliott's challenge to him? You guys didn't believe it to be true, didn't think it could happen, and now where are we? It's impossible. I don't have enough back to pat. I told you. So we have those numbers. We'll go into that. Also, there is a sorry, I got thrown off. There is another story, about the young man who they're referring to as S. I don't even understand why they're referring to him as S. Everybody knows his name. He was printed in the newspaper. But anyway, DCF is hiding records from him in order for him to sue DCF. And the crazy part of that story is that DCF is suggesting that he took too long to file a lawsuit. Like they're ignoring the fact that the young man had been locked up for 20 years. And it's like, oh, my bad, you missed the deadline. The guy's trying to recover from weighing 68 pounds. Getting the proper nourishment, maybe coming back to a natural weight. And then when he finally gets his life in order, someone says, I think you should file a lawsuit against the organization that allowed this to happen. And they go, oh, look, you missed the deadline. Like, through no fault of his own. So we'll talk about that as well, which is in the news. I find this so funny. And there was one more. I just said, oh, that's what it was. It was Hartford's treasurer. Hartford's treasurer. Isn't there more and more dirty stuff coming out of that story? Why? Just why? Like, why all the dirty deeds? There's money being, I know you guys said that this place was corrupt. I know you did. But I get surprised every day at how much more it is. And the worst part is that I have to look at these people and say, what made you this kind of worm? What turned you into this kind of reprobate? I never understand that. What happened, Roland?
No, I was just going to say, if there wasn't a such thing as dirty deeds, there wouldn't be a such thing as good deeds either.
So we need the dirty deeds?
So it would just be deeds.
Why can't they just be good? Why do they have to do horrible things? Like, why do you have to steal? I don't get people who steal. Like, that's not yours. I don't care. Please don't tell me it's a thrill. There is no thrill in that. You are taking something that doesn't belong to you, and I don't get it. Like, I don't know if it's entitlement. I can't fathom it. You should never take what isn't yours and think that no one is paying for it or no one is going to be held to account.
It's good and it's bad. That's our existence, good and bad.
Do you have people in your life who steal, steal, are comfortable with stealing?
Not anymore.
Oh, so you used to know a lot. So I'm going to tell a personal tale. I only got 20 seconds.
Yeah, you don't
I
have
gotta
time.
go. Anyway, we'll talk about it later. Let's get to the top of the hour news. Reese on the radio. We're out.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
All right, I figured it out. 18 tickets, 18 pairs, right, to go see the Electric Avenue, the 80s MTV experience tomorrow night at the Simsbury Meadow Performing Arts Center on Iron Horse Boulevard. Here's the deal. Best way to do it. Go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Go down to the comment section. All the way down to the comment section. You'll see it there. Just scroll all the way down to the bottom. Put in your name, your email address, and just say, I want to go. And you, first come, first serve, you and a loved one will get a pair, and I will tell you how you can get them tonight. In fact, I will give them to you. I'll tell you exactly where to go. All right? So that's it. 18 pairs. Go right now to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Scroll down, put in your name, your email address, and in the comments, I want to go. You can say, I want to go, I want to, or I want to go, whatever suits your fancy. I'll figure it out. I can read. And, just do that now. I'll get an alert immediately, and I'll respond to you. I will send you exactly where you can pick up the tickets, right? And I will give them to you. So, again, ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Scroll down to the comments, name, email address, and I want to go. And you and a person of your choosing, loved one or not, I don't know, take your enemy. It's like an olive branch. You can take them too. Give me a second here. Polling data. I am often told, Reese, you only read the polling data you care about. You're right on those. You're absolutely right. I only read the polling data I care about. I don't understand why people. Yes, you're only supposed to read the polling data you care about. You don't read all of it. You don't have to read all of it. If you know anything about reading polling data, you know which ones are good, which ones are phony, which ones really make no sense. You understand the margin of error and why. You totally understand why the person's putting it out. I don't know if you knew this, but I told you this a long time ago. The whole Aaron Stewart, polling data that came out in February of this year that had 300 people polled and said that she was 10 points ahead of Ryan Fazio. She had a double-digit lead over Ryan Fazio. And I said, so? And everybody looked at me like I had 3 heads. I said, it means nothing. And I said, putting out a poll like that, which, by the way, she got upset with, I said, putting out a poll like that was only done for one reason. It was to tell everyone else, hey, no need to show up on election day. I got this. There will be no primary. I'm the one, like it or not. And I didn't like it. One of the biggest problems that we had in 2022, and it's all you can complain about, it was they felt nothing against you, Bob. Sorry. But many people thought Bob Stefanowski was the chosen candidate and not the chosen candidate, if you get my meaning. And people were upset with that. Whether or not it was true or not, that remains. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But they thought he was an establishment. They thought that there were other people who could have run who would have been more effective. Whether or not that was true or not, but it didn't look good. It sort of flew right in the face of the issue they had in the last election. And I said, you're running right into a buzzsaw when you put out a poll that early, before anyone's had an opportunity to establish themselves. Telling everybody the race is over and you're the nominee, not good work. And because I pointed it out, people got mad. And when I say got mad, we're talking hands on their hips saying, can you believe this guy? Yeah, don't worry, people talk. But I was right, wasn't I? Yes. Polls mean nothing. Some polls mean nothing. But I got to read you this one. So it's an Impact Connecticut poll of likely Democrat primary voters. And they show that Ned Lamont is still in the lead, but is not a commanding lead. The new Impact Connecticut poll of 859 likely Democrat primary voters finds that Ned Lamont is still leading challenger Josh Elliott, but the race has tightened significantly. Lamont now sits at 48%, while Elliott is at 27%, with 24% still undecided. That's a 21-point lead. The same pollster previously did a survey released in June, that showed Lamont 58-20. That was a 38-point gap. So what happened? Anybody want to tell me? What happened? Don't blame me. I didn't have anything to do with it. I have not had an interaction with Ned Lamont since early June. So it ain't me. What happened? Anybody want to take a wild guess? I could take a wild guess. I could take a couple of wild guesses. And that is, Ned was never a favorite. And even some people who were certain it was his race to lose are now saying he doesn't look good. I'm telling you, are saying right now Ned Lamont looks vulnerable in the general. Even if he wins in the primary. He looks weak. Ineffective. The momentum is gone. But I was telling you that last November. I knew it was. I told him the primary challenge was going to happen. And I don't know whether or not you were paying attention to this, but I told you that Josh Elliott had a very, very strong chance of really doing some damage to Ned Lamont. That Ned Lamont's ability to get out ahead of this was going to show immediately. And the same thing is looking for John Larson. And here's why. I wish I could say it was just the candidates, but I want to talk about these two particular guys in general. It is not because of their age. Although it plays a factor, but it's not. It's minute about their age. Larson looks as spry as ever. When I see him, absolutely. Hey, how you doing? I saw him today before I got kicked out. More on that later. But as soon as I saw him, I said, hey, what's up, Representative? He said, a day late and a dollar short. I said, what, me, you? He goes, no, me. I'm a day late and a dollar short. I'm like, oh, shook his hand. How you doing it? And then the owner of at least the guy running the establishment asked me to leave. But that's another thing. Oh, whatever. But again, just as spry as ever. I like seeing Larcy. He's always got a smile on his face until, of course, you tick him off, which I love to do. But it's his team. His team is weathered. So's Lamont's team. And they're younger. And they're weathered. They're tired. They're playing catch-up. All of them. And their frustration is showing on their faces. They cannot handle the oncoming. They thought this was going to be a cakewalk, and they're not sure why it isn't. And no one's telling them why. No one is throwing them a life preserver. No one is helping them out. It's as if the knives are out, because they are. Now, can I tell you a theory? A wild theory? And somebody's going to say to me, maybe, Reese, but I don't think so. Okay. So I'm going through the news today, and I run by an article. And the article is in an old newspaper, one that you're all familiar with. It's called The Day. Have you seen it? Have you seen the article? I did. Did you see the article about Sean Scanlon? Maybe you should check it out. Because I've got a question. Sean Scanlon, who's, of course, sat across from me here, said something very clear. He said, and I quote, yes, there's no lie. I have ambitions to run for higher office. God bless him. I love it when they come straight out and say, that's what I'm doing. Let me see if I can get this article here, because I know I saw it. Many of you probably saw it. Let me see. That's right there. Is that? I know I had it in front of me because it was. Why is it not in front of me? I just had the darn thing. There it is. Right there. Let me read the headline. Comptroller completes state tour in Lyme. State Controller Sean Scanlon is slated to host a town hall on Thursday at 6 p.m. at the Lyme Public Hall to commemorate his visiting of all the state's 169 cities and towns during his first term. Lyme is his last stop on the tour. Yeah. Can I throw out a theory? Lamont loses. Fazio wins. Fazio runs the second term against Scanlon. Seems like a perfect scenario, right? Nah. I don't know what I'm talking about. Nah. If you don't listen, this is going to be important. Listen closely. And this is why I know this to be true. Scanlon doesn't want to run behind a third Lamont term. He's not. Because he would be running as Lamont's fourth. Nespa? Yes. Exactly. 100%. That's how anybody would paint him. That's exactly how I would. I would keep reminding everybody of the 3 terms of Lamont. And by the way, if Lamont wins, God forbid, if he wins, you know what he is going to do in his third term. You have given him a permission slip to tax and spend out the wazoo. And no matter what Sean Scanlon does at the end of that term, he is going to have to separate himself from Ned Lamont. And it will be almost impossible considering that he served in the same administration. and the likelihood that Lamont screws this up, that is going to destroy any chances. He needs to run on his own, and if he even runs under the, hey, this guy was under Lamont, at least he has some distance between him. He'll have another administration that's a Republican administration that he can clearly run against, as opposed to running a extended model. Come on, folks. I don't have to dream this stuff up. This is the way politics works. If you were to ask Sean Scanlon today, I'll ask him today, would you rather run as an extension of Lamont or run on your own accord? What do you think he'd choose? And you don't have to ask him publicly. Ask him privately. I know what he'll tell me. Any politician worth his salt would tell you, hell yeah, I'm not running on anybody's extended campaign. That kind of stuff will weigh you down. It's an albatross. And right now, if you look at the Democrat Party, which I told you before, I'm not kidding, that phone call came in, and it is absolutely true. Let's just say the support from the Democrat Party in Hartford is not there for Lamont. They don't want him running for a third term. And again, this polling data is look, did you hear that? Read that article. What was it? Indivisible, who had that sit down with him? They were not impressed. Indivisible walked away with Ned Lamont answering none of, if not any, of their questions. They were not satisfied in that article. Of course, it didn't get a lot of burn anywhere because it wasn't favorable to him. And you have the usual legacy media here who's doing everything they can to push his old bones over the finish line. But the Democrat Party wants no part of him. He represents an old guard. And you saw that picture that they put up in the CT, what do you call it? The CT Capitol report. They put a picture of Ned Lamont eating ice cream, which is a horrible picture after what we saw with the Biden administration. That photograph of Joe Biden eating ice cream is used as a mockery. To show Lamont doing the same thing and thinking that was a good thing it was quite telling. They should have known better, but I believe it was done on purpose. So, I say, listen, this polling data, whether or not it is, it's telling, I'm just asking a basic question. No one thought that Elliott had a shot. Everybody thought this guy was a nothing burger. I warned you that the guy was going to move up. Why? Because the party was moving that way. It was moving against Ned Lamont. Ned Lamont told us that he had to go left when he realized that being a moderate Democrat wasn't good enough for him. He tried to play the whole, I'm fighting against Donald Trump. He thought that was going to curry him favor. By the way, isn't that his whole game, running that? Oh, he's protecting us from Donald Trump. But everything else has gone straight to hell. He thought that was going to save him. And guess what? What did I say? I just said, what was it, day before yesterday? The whole Trump thing. It's not currying them any favor with Democrats. Yeah, we get it. You're fighting Trump. Okay, well, how's that improving our lives? Oh, it isn't? No. And what's he doing? Every time he turns around, there's a grab bag or something. Let me play Santa Claus. Let me give millions of dollars to people who are not contributing to the most important thing in this state, the taxes. They don't contribute a dime. And Lamont is running around giving away your tax dollars that he's not alleviating. Hey, here's another giveaway. Here's another giveaway. Hey, I've got another giveaway. Oakley dokley. And then had the audacity to say, how can I get $5 million to the Haitians? And people are asking why the poll numbers are going down. You didn't give any money or any relief to the people who improve on these numbers. You've ignored them. And you'll continue to. And the reason why your rival isn't shooting through the charts is because he's doing the same thing. His radical lefts are going, yeah, Josh, take all their money. And your crowd's going, Lamont, can I keep some of mine? And you're like, no, got to give more of it away. What happened? How much money did he give away? How many things did he sign into law? How many press conferences did he do about early childhood, free lunches, free breakfast, free dinner, free snacks? How many press conferences did he get? What did he get him? Nothing. He dropped 17 points. 17, folks. And we're not talking about with everyone. We're talking about his own base. He lost 17% of his own voters, whom I told you weeks ago. As much as they hate Republicans, they hate taxes more. Okay? As much as they hate Donald Trump, they hate property taxes more. As much as they love being Democrats or love liberalism, they love staying in their own home more. After a while, something had to give. And it's giving. It's giving with both hands. I'm sorry, I'm just so happy. We'll take a break. We'll take your phone calls when we return. It's Reese on the radio.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Hey, he's your friendly neighborhood Reese on the radio. Right now on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, already gave away 8 pairs of tickets. I have another 8 to go to hang out at, give me a second here. I'm screwing it up. I should have had it ready to go. This is to go to the Electric Avenue 80s MTV Experience, which is located at the Simsbury Meadow Performing Arts Center on Iron Horse Boulevard tomorrow night. If it rains out tomorrow, it is then available on August 1st, and they'll, of course, let you know. But if you want the last 8 pairs of tickets, you got to go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Do that now. Just put in your name, your email address, and I want to go. And I will email you back as the 8 people who I just sent it back to them. And I will tell you where to pick them up. And I will be giving you those tickets personally. So you can, you can pick them up from me. Which, of course, makes it legitimate because I will be there. So again, reeseontheradio.com, fill in the comments, name, email address, and your WhatsApp. Somebody put in there only their first name, so I am going to have to, when you go there, I'm going to have a list of your name and your email address, so please know, ready on the fly, so you can, I can line you up. So when you come in and just check you off and say, okay, yeah, you're legitimate, here's your 2 tickets. Like I said, I got 8 pairs left. And you can do that right now. So I expect to hear from you. And I got all the people who have, from Stanley, Linda, Kathleen, Susan, Jeff, Eric. Yes, EJ, I know who you are. Fred and Audrey, who have won so far. So congratulations to them. Now, enough of me. Let's get to you. Jim is in Waterbury. Let's get to him. How are you, sir?
Yeah, there's some hope. I'm just joining this program. It's called Walk Away with Brandon Strack.
Yeah, well, very, very familiar with him. He had that famous video talking to the 2 women about listening to black women more. And he asked them, what about black women who voted for Trump?
Yeah. So anyhow, he walked away from the Democratic Party after much soul searching.
Mm-hmm.
And since his grassroots movement started with outreach campus programs, digital media, live events, direct engagement, and more,
mm-hmm.
The walk away has helped hundreds of thousands of Americans walk away from the Democratic Party socialism. Plus, more than 90,000 Americans have publicly shared their walk-away testimonies.
Yeah, I've seen those. They're really, really good.
There is hope out there.
Isn't there always, though, Jim? I kind of feel like we've lost the sense of there being hope out there, like that's no longer innate in the human spirit.
Yeah, he'd be a good guy to have on your program.
I thought about it. He's kind of a national guy. Unfortunately, they don't see us local guys as important enough to talk to. But you know what? I know my guy Adam is listening, so I know he is saying to himself, whatever, I'll give him a call. So if there's anybody to get him, Adam will get him.
Yeah. You know, another thing is I'll be listening to where you're having your birthday party thing, because I didn't get like the address or the city or anything.
Oh, it's in Farmington, Connecticut, at a place called Stadium 15. Well, we're going to be running ads all day for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So I hope to see you there.
Like at D'Amelio's, of course, we can't get there. Now, that only seats 100 people, and the parking is tight.
Yeah, but don't worry about that. Listen, come on, August 14th, my birthday over at Stadium 15. Come on by there, man. Trust me, there's plenty of room for you to come and hang out, and I'll be there for a while. We're talking 6-7 hours, man. You totally get a chance to hang out with me.
14th. What's the name of it again?
14th at Stadium 15. It's on a Friday.
At Stadium
15.
My wife's sharp. She's got it. Stadium 15.
Thank you, Jim. I'll talk to you soon.
Oh, have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir. You too. Wall Street Joe is on the phone. What's up, big guy?
Boy, did you blow it yesterday, Reverend. You didn't pick up my call for over an hour.
I was busy. What do you got?
Tip of the month for your listeners. The energy refinery companies for gasoline came out with their earnings at the open of the market today. I got established. I was going to share the information. PBF Energy refining gasoline. Well, it went up 17% off the open. And I'm out now. $10 on 10,000 shares with 100 options. Not bad for a day's work.
Not bad for a day's work at all. What are you thinking about the gas prices going down this morning?
Well, the war keeps going up and down like a yo-yo.
Do you think it is going to be a fundamental factor in the midterms?
Oh, right now, absolutely. But a lot can happen to a lot of people between now and October. There's going to be a lot happening.
Yeah, we still got a lot of time. I always say the threshold is never 90 days. It is 80 days, not 90.
I've got a few things I really got to get by you that I think you'd find them very important. They're inside of baseball.
What, on stocks and bonds?
Well, no, you're talking about Lamont, Mayor of Hartford.
No, tell me about, let's go to Lamont. What do you think? You think I'm off?
The first thing I want to get by is Roseanne listening?
No, she's home.
All right, because I was going to diary now.
I can't hear you.
Get rid of your diary now.
Joe, let me go to some other people. I got to get to them. God bless you. Let me go to Fred. What's going on, sir? Oh, wrong person. Sorry. Hold on. There's Fred. Hey, sir.
Hey. So I got a follow-up. First of all, happy birthday, Leo. But Johnny Carson used to do that.
Oh, that's right.
I got a follow-up. No straw poll for you.
Really?
So, yeah, my political buddy, he was listening. You know, and, of course, you only took a call or two yesterday. But he did not like you, dude. That bit where you did about the drunken voting illegal alien crossing the lane and taking out a Bridgeport cop. And
he didn't like what I did. What do you mean he didn't like me? I don't understand. What did he not like?
He was like, whoa, saying that illegals are killing cops. Well, I don't know if that's good for an opening dialogue.
I don't know. Dude, I don't even know whether or not he heard what I said, but of course.
He heard you, dude. He busted out a can of woke ass and sprayed it in his own face, man.
So wait a minute. So wait. So he is protecting the illegal in the country who has a driver's license, who may have well voted in 3 elections. He's siding with that individual, thinking that I said something untoward about that woman?
In a word, yes. This is a paraphrase. He goes, that without mentioning that illegals commit crimes at a lower rate than native-born Americans.
Oh, what a bozo.
You never know, right, dude? I'm very smart, but how stupid am I?
No,
right?
I mean, that's unfortunate, but you know what? Listen, the fact that now, did you direct him to listen to the show before, like, I guess before you you had set up me to link up with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
First, he told me about the straw poll, and I goes, you should run this by Reese, Reese on the radio, and I mentioned you to him before. And so he's like, yeah. So we're both listening yesterday, in different locations. And while you were doing that bit, I texted him saying, God bless this MFer, meaning you, for the bit you were doing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's clutching his pearls and getting his panties in a knot about it,
God bless him. Hey,
man.
no. That's fine. Listen. The fact that he would be upset about that and not interested in promoting his straw poll says everything I need to know about him. And this is, look, the old line, right? Go woke, go broke. He wants to keep that isolated with his own group. He doesn't want an opportunity to share ideas. He wants to stay in an isolated bubble. God bless you. Bring your oxygen.
I mean, you might be too big. You might have rocked his boat, tipped his little dinghy over, and he might not have made it to shore. You know what I mean? You do have a tremendous conservative charge to you.
Yeah, hey, dude, I totally get it. Thank you so much, Fred.
Closing with this, politics is a team sport,
That's right. That's right.
Right, bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. All right, Tony, what's going on, sir?
Yes, sir. How's it going, my friend?
I'm pretty good. What do you got?
I'll try to meet you. What?
Actually, you know what, Tony? I just realized something. I didn't see the time. Tony, I'm going to put you on hold. Let me do this quick break because I got to go to 50 real quick. I'm going to go to that, and then I'll pick you up as soon as we come on the other side, all right?
All right. I may or not make it, buddy. I'll call tomorrow if I can't make it, all right, buddy?
All right, you got it. Thank you.
Yeah,
all right,
later.
You got it. Let's take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. It's Reese on the radio.
It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
All right, back. Reese on the radio. Chris Shea already stepped into the building. We'll talk to him momentarily about his campaign. You know what? I'm going to get into, let's go to Jim in Willington real quick. What's going on, Jim? How are you?
Reese, I'm fine, and yourself?
I try my best. What's up, man?
Listen, a couple of callers ago, you're talking about losing hope. I think you mentioned losing hope.
Yeah, I said I think that having hope is sort of indicative of who we are as human beings, as we all have some degree of hope.
Let me tell you, I hope you know this as well as I believe it. Plenty of hope out there. We go through this communist socialist BS probably every 50 years.
Yeah.
Right? After what we saw for the country's celebration, I have absolutely no qualms at all about the future going forward. The one thing I might say, well, I guess I'll end it at that because I know you got other people you want to talk to.
No, you were actually my last call, but I'll tell you this. I'll say this before you go. That point you made about we've gone through this over and over again. I don't know if you were listening at the time, and I know that everybody can't listen to the entire 4 shows, but I'm going to find the video. So I found this old video of people talking about the bicentennial in 1976. And there were people who were walking through the street in Washington, D.C., and they were your usual rabble-rousers. In fact, there was one white woman with an afro and a black medallion around wearing a leather jacket. She looked like Rachel Dolezal. And she said, and I quote, that the bicentennial doesn't mean anything if we don't include women and minorities. And if you listen to her, if you didn't see the visual or the grainy photo or the grainy video, she would have sounded like every person in the 1619 Project or somebody from Black Lives Matter. They never change. And that's the whole point, is that they never innovate. They never change. They're the same people over and over again. They are wash, rinse, repeat. That's why liberals will never, it's funny that they always say that they're progressives, but the one thing that never progresses is their ideas.
And let me end with this if I can. These whack jobs in the Democratic Party, the communists, the socialists, all of them getting press. Just remember I said this because I'll call back and ask you. They're making Ocasio-Cortez look like a genius. very quietly making her and others like her looking like a genius. And I got to say, that's how far That's how far bad the Democratic Party is right now.
Yeah, I know exactly. When a person says we need to eliminate prisons, and you go, "Can we get back to the Earth only has 12 years to live?" Because that to me,
they want to run Greta Thunberg. Maybe they should run her.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jim.
Right,
you got a good one, man. Have a good one. Yeah, that's how insane it's gotten. Again, ladies, if you haven't heard it, let me play it again for you. Hide your children, especially your daughters. Nick Shirley is in New York, and he asked a young lady a simple question. Should a man as an illegal who is sexually assaulted or raped your daughter, should they go to jail?
Let's just say somebody who has raped a woman.
Totally.
Would you like them to be out in the street?
I think my answer is yes, even though that's a challenging answer to say.
So if you got, would you like your rapist to be out in the street?
Oh, let me finish. Because I have been raped, and they are out in the street. And I'm not sure, them going to jail is a solution to, whatever's going on inside their heart, or even my own heart that, contributed to that experience that I'm having. And I don't want more people to get raped, but I don't know for certain that going into a jail in the United States is going to shift anything inside of their operating system so that they'll make a different choice again.
Wow, well, thank you guys so much for your time. And is there one last message you'd like to give the people about potential the rise of communism or freeing the people inside the prisons?
Just free yourself from the own prison in your heart.
Free yourself from your own prison inside your heart. Listen to me. Grab that clip. You get that clip right now, and you find every one of your kids, every one of them teetering over into bizarro world. You play that for them, and you said, "Sweetheart, do you think like this person? Because I swear there is a rubber room that we've got upstairs. We're going to put you in it." I'm telling you. That's how crazy it's gotten. And don't blame me. They called me a conservative a long time ago. I knew I wasn't the crazy one. Let's get our first check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher's here. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
I just heard what I heard, didn't
I know you heard what
I wasn't dreaming there?
No, you were not. You wish you were, but that's real.
Okay.
I told you, it's the reason why I can't go back to New York. It's over. It is done.
Yeah.
It's poison there.
That is pretty bizarre.
Don't go to New York. It's lava. All right. We are back. Reese on the radio. First half of the show already under wraps. And now sitting next to me is that guy, Chris Shea. He is going to be here for the next hour. We'll talk to Kim about anything and everything under the sun. People are already in the chat room, of course, talking about you and your opponent in the primary. We'll get into that. Are you tired yet of being asked about Jonathan DeBarros? Are you tired yet?
A little bit.
All right, well, it's not over. So
I don't expect it.
The primary is coming up, so it is very, very heated, so we got to talk about it, which we will. You were down at, when was the last time? I think it was recently. You were down at, what's his name? Gary Byron's show. When was it, just yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah.
You were down there yesterday. Okay, so you were really, really doing the rounds over there. Is he a nice guy?
He's a nice guy.
He is? He is? All right.
You guys don't know each other?
I met him once.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that, I don't know. I don't know if... I got the impression he's...
Right?
No, I don't think... he's a morning show guy, and I'm an afternoon guy. I don't think we're... No, somebody told me he's not really fond of me, and I was like, I don't...
I didn't get that impression because it came up about, people asking for debates. He's talking about you and him. And
everybody who's in this business, I really, really like. Yeah. Like everybody, Lee, LC, all these guys. I'm like, dude, we're all on the same team. But somebody told me he's just not fond of me. And I was just like, all right, whatever.
I didn't get that impression.
No, okay, well, good. Like I said, I don't want to hate anybody. It's like I'm good. Anyway, we'll get into that in a second. So stand by. My conversation with Chris Shea will happen after we get back from Mark Christopher, who is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. Chris Shea in the house, sir. knocking on doors, holding events. What you got coming up recently? Like, what's your big deal?
Coming up or past?
Yeah, like what? No, coming up. Past. What good is that going to do me?
Yeah. We had a nice little fundraiser.
You don't have you had a fundraiser last night. That much I know about. Yeah. So what are we doing now? Knocking on doors still?
Knocking on doors, showing up anywhere they'll have us. Tonight we'll go to Thomaston to the fair there with the fire department and folks in Thomaston. And then I have to go to pay my dues at the fire department on Friday. Then we'll be out all – these guys will still be doing stuff on my behalf. And then Saturday and Sunday we're going to be about 10 different places.
What's it been like now as far as you jumping into the race, momentum, notoriety? What's that been like?
I mean, it's funny. You know the momentum, I think, has picked up really. I mean, if you saw our socials, I don't know who pays attention to that. I don't even know what it all means, but ours kind of blew up in the last week or two, which is a good thing, I guess. But I think the mistake can be that, like, hey, that's what the race is about. And it's like, we got 730,000 people. We really got to talk to about 150, 200 of them that are going to be potential, voters for us. Cause it's going to be what was the last one when it was, George, 120 something? It was like just under 130 each, right?
It was a very, very close race.
So we're looking at 260 to 300,000 people that are going to decide this race. So knocking doors is awesome. We're going to do all we can, but there's very different from a local race to this race. It's we are going to do what we can, but we're also hitting text messages. We're sending out mailers. I know that's causing a bit of a stir, but it is what it is. We're going to have to, if he can't survive first contact here, do you think the Democrats are going to give you any? I mean, they're going to dig in way harder.
It's a very good point that you're bringing up. And someone mentioned that to me, and I don't. I this is something I got to sort of get off my chest, but I try to tell people, please stop treating me like I'm the dad of this thing. I'm not the dad of this thing. Do I have the largest conservative voice in Connecticut? Absolutely, but I'm nobody's dad. I'm not going to sit around and sit everybody down and say, everybody behave.
Ben Pro is my dad.
Yeah.
My puppet master.
Sure he is. But yeah. But I'm not sitting around telling everybody, can you get everybody to play along? I'm like, no, I can't. These are men. These are women. Everybody's a grown-up. They've got to do the thing that they got to do. And when we get to the place where we need to be, we'll all go in there marching and we go we do what we got to do. But this stuff is the stuff that you have to go through. Right. That being said, you bring up a very good point about the DeBarros thing. As much as there are people out there, maybe even myself included, who don't like the personal jabs.
Yep.
This particular personal jab only because I always ask the question, where does a guy go to get his redemption?
Right.
That's what people are asking. And I think it's a fair question when you're running an ad that's, in essence saying, he's pardoned by the Democrats. That's kind of loaded. Let's be honest. Okay? You're saying that the Republicans wouldn't give him an opportunity. That's double-edged. So let's be honest.
I don't know who gave him. I know it's
the ad says he was pardoned by Democrats.
Well, it's a Democratic administration.
Right, of course.
So it's just like anybody would say. But I mean, the fact of the matter is that this is it's not lost on me that this is a serious position I'm applying for.
Understood.
Right? One of 435 people that are not only going to represent the 730,000 people in the district, but 350 million people writ large. We're going to be and listen, I've done some cool stuff and been some big places and dealt with a lot of people, but I even have imposter syndrome. It's sometimes like, hey, can I do this? Is this the right thing? It's like, if you don't, you're full of baloney, right? But the fact of the matter is, like, it's serious. At the end of the day, you can't do anything much less than maybe a Dunkin' Donuts or a McDonald's application without having your resume and your background. They're going to do a background check on you, right? So the fact of the matter is, I believe in redemption, 100%. I'm a Christian, like you are, I'm pretty sure, and some of that stuff's between you and him versus us, right? Because I was told at the Italian Fest the other day when I shook his hand, like, hey man, it's a blood sport. We're going to be friends after this. Roger that. It's a blood sport. So
do you believe that you guys will be friends at the end of this?
I mean, I told you last time. I showed you.
I know.
I called him 2 days after the convention. I got the receipts on my phone. I thought it would have been better for us to work together after that. I think there are some inevitabilities of his situation. We raised more money last night in a small little fundraiser we did than he did in the whole quarter. And the fact of the matter is, like, it sucks, and I think I told you this last time. The fact that it's about money drives me crazy.
Yeah, I hate that too.
But you're building a business.
Sure.
Right? You're running for Congress. We got to put together a staff, which we've done. I hate to say it, but Aaron's downfall was my good graces because I was able to bring Brock on board and he's keeping the trains on track. But that stuff all costs money. Building an organization costs money. So if you're even look at Shark Tank, people that already have good business models and good products, they still need to go to those guys.
Sure.
To get money
Need a venture
build,
capitalist.
Right,
sure.
to build a bit. So that's where we are. I'm not in a position to self-fund, so I've had to do the hard work of getting the phone hung up on me, leaving hundreds and thousands of messages for people, going everywhere, groveling for, hey, and conveying to people hey, this is important. We got a shot here. I think I bring some unique things to the ticket that hasn't been here in a long time. The Navy SEAL thing doesn't hurt. The firefighter thing doesn't hurt. The veteran nonprofit thing doesn't hurt. And, at the end of the day, I'm sorry for Jonathan, but our records are going to both get reviewed, right?
Yes. That part I understand. And you bring up a fair point that says you bringing it up is only sort of preparing him for if indeed he does prevail on the 11th. Johanna Hayes is going to go full bore on that personal record. And he's going to have
good at memes. Wait till you see how good they are at
well,
memes.
that's exactly. I mean, if they feel in any way that he is a threat to them, they are going to pull out all the stops because that's who they are, right? So I get that whole point. Right. My question to that is, and what other people are asking, and again, this is, I guess this is in essence one of those questions you have to answer, and that is, how does that build a coalition after you do an ad like that against him? Well, because let's say you do prevail, you're going to need the support that is going to feel very bitter about that ad.
Right.
So how do you then build that coalition? Because there may be some people who turn around like they did to Bernie Sanders after 2016 to Hillary Clinton. Well, listen, F that, we're not helping him.
Listen, politics makes strange bedfellows. I mean, Little Marco is a really big fan of the president right now.
Yeah.
And he brutalized him and a lot of other people.
But he talked about the guy the size of the guy's hands. He didn't call him a murderer for crying out loud.
I didn't call him a murderer. I didn't say that.
Well, they referred to him as somebody who murdered someone.
Where? Who did that?
Did they not suggest that he killed someone?
Well, he did kill. Are we saying he did kill someone?
I'm not arguing. So I'm not arguing that point.
Right. So and I'm very careful to say it. I get it. He got a full pardon. I appreciate what he did, the work he put into getting that done. That's good for him, right? But it needs to be. I argue that he's glad-handed his description of what things, and that's his story of what had happened, and then other people are going to use the other parts of it that are publicly available, on the internet and in public records, right? So if we're not full transparency on that, and people can make their decisions like, hey, we see that, we know that, and then let's go forward. Here's what I think. The lack of the fundraising, the lack of a slight lack of transparency, and say I got sick tomorrow and went home and just he took this thing for whatever reason, right? I don't think it's going to cost the Democrats much money at all.
Okay.
They spend maybe they spend a couple $100,000 on making sure everybody knows that point, and then Johanna's going to go on vacation, right? She's going to mail it in, kind of like Rosa did with Mr. Massey down in New Haven County there, right? Because Jonathan's used that example. Like, Mike Massey gave her a run for her money. He didn't give her a run for money. He got beat by 18 points. It's a D+8 district. Like, that's not winning. And she mailed it in from the couch and gave a bunch of her money away. What's going to happen here? Here's the worst case scenario for me being the nominee in this thing is, we're going to raise more money. We're going to make her have to fight us. And the worst case scenario is we make the Democrats spend a buttload of money on this race and help out other races.
What's Johanna Hayes' weakness?
What's her weakness? That she's three digits to the left of AOC. We were just laughing with that gentleman, the earlier caller, about AOC looking good, being the smart one of the bunch. And, she is just, I know you're a Republican, or a conservative guy, right? She is 180 degrees out from everything I believe in and know, like, listen, I think I told you before, maybe I didn't, I forget who I talked to, but I don't need this job. I mean, Uncle Sam I got a nice little pension I earned over 33 years. I got a great job at the firehouse. I don't need the job, but I can't see turning the country over to someone she was just arguing about it the other day, that teenage boys should be playing in girl sports and because they also declared they're a boy. Like, it's nonsense. She's going in that direction. And, call me a liar one more time. You saw that clip, I'm sure, right? I mean, is that what we want representing us? She thinks the border should be open or some sort of. She thinks sanctuary cities are right. She didn't think we needed the tax breaks we're getting this year. And I'll go a step further because this is the part. Everybody's. I'll preempt it. The debate question. I don't think John and I Jonathan and I disagree on any of those things. So then where does the debate come back to other than a record of service to both the country and my community for 35 years or a record of serving, right? And because one of the things he says, Chris Shea knows nothing about the district. I raised my daughter here. I've owned houses here. I ran a business here before Uncle Sam snatched me out of that, like with a month's notice. I've made payroll. I've paid taxes. I've coached soccer teams here. Like been a paramedic in downtown Waterbury. Like all those things. Like, what do you mean I don't know anything about the community? And so it's like I don't even know where these things come from. And I think people need to be eyes wide open. If he were to somehow win, I think it's going to cost us more seats, not just this seat. I think it'll be a walk in the park like it was for Rosa down in New Haven. I think it'll be the same thing. I appreciate his enthusiasm. He's got a lot of enthusiasm, and he's a great talker. A little bit of a BSer, if I'm being honest, because I've heard him say things in places that I'm like, that's not right, but it's, whatever, tit for tat. We're gonna go like, hey, I think I said something on Byron yesterday about fentanyl deaths and my condolences to his couple family members that he lost to this. I've been on the other end of it. I've been the paramedic or the fireman that's working on those guys that have killed themselves with fentanyl, right? I've been the guys trying to bring them back in their kitchen, in their parents' kitchen, right? Mm-hmm. So I get it. But, he said something to an audience one time that it was, hey, because Trump got elected, the deaths started going down in 2025. And I think I said it a little bit off, but like they peaked 2022 into 2023 and have gone down since. So it's like maybe stuff Trump did the first time had it, but it certainly wasn't him getting elected in 2025. And he says things like, I'm gonna enforce the law in the 5th district. Like did you miss Saturday morning cartoons? Like that's the wrong branch of government. Like he's very charismatic about it. He says it, and he's better than me at that. I'll be quite honest. Career public servant, not a career politician, right? I'm getting better though. And I will continue to get better.
Okay.
But that said, I care about saying things that are verifiable. And he knows. He's asked me, hey, can I put this out? I'm like, is it true? Do we have data that backs this up? Do we have a snapshot of this? Like, and especially with the thing about his record, I'm not going to say anything. We made sure to say he got a full and complete pardon from the state of Connecticut, and he doesn't need to list it on a job application. But the employer gets to do a background check and see that it's not that it's because there's a difference between being exonerated and getting a pardon and clemency afterwards. Yes, is that a fair statement? So that's all, and it's just I don't even think that's taking the shot. It's just like, hey, this is the.
But I get where you're coming from, and here's why, and I would say the most important pushback in this, is Jonathan in this regard, at least the way his supporters see it, right, is at a moment in his life.
Right.
Whatever the circumstances they were in. He spent 19 years in jail because of a moment in his life where I think it was it one person dead and another person injured?
One sent with a dropped lung to the hospital. Yeah.
And that incident, he served that time for. He got clemency for.
After serving.
Right.
Yep.
And he's turned his life around. Right.
Agreed.
And what people are saying is, again, and what are we looking at? How long of a time are we talking about from the time that the incident took place? We're looking well over 20 years?
Well, yeah, it was a hot minute ago. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so a long time ago. Yeah. Right. So when people are looking at it, and I'm saying that from the lens we're looking at, and I know that none of the so-called political, what do you call them, the
junkies?
No. The word I'm looking for is the expert, the political experts. They never ever look at this because, again, they're a bunch of morons. They are. They're not as smart as they think they are. Sorry, the consultant class. They don't understand this. But optics are important, even the ones you miss.
Right.
And what the optics are in this one is that Jonathan does have a story where, in essence, he does have a base. And the base is that when somebody like him, under the circumstances of his life, can take that one moment and some 20-some-odd years later become the person that he is, that everybody is going to judge him 25 years ago or 20-some-odd years ago, that once that is looked at, everybody's going, what exact message are we sending as a people when we are dealing with somebody in opponent?
So I served 33 years in the Navy, right? I honorably got my retirement, right? If I had done 3.5 years and then did something that got me a dishonorable discharge or worse, right? and then I got my life together, ran a business, was successful. Do you think if I had gotten what do they call it, a big chicken dinner or one of those discharges from the military and didn't get it cleaned up, do you think Jonathan would wait for a second not to put it on ad about that?
That is a great question, only if it were in the hypothetical, but I'll go one step further. Has he?
I don't have that.
No, just what I'm saying. So,
right. No, but what I will say though is like, so the funny thing is right now, I mean, there was a mail piece that went out and it you know, it's like the thing that I did.
Hold on for me 1 second, because I know they're going to be up against a hard break if we don't. Yeah. Stand by. We'll got more with Chris Shea on this, and we want to get to more on you instead of this whole debate back and forth. I don't want to make the whole interview about that. We will. Stand by. Chris Shea is here. We're talking about his campaign and, of course, this primary coming up. Mark Christopher's back. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we'll be back, of course, with Chris Shea. We only got a short break here before we go to weather and traffic, roughly about 3 minutes. But what you wanted to say before you went to a break was about the whole back and forth.
Yeah. Listen, I don't like, and to be honest, I don't like any of that. I think I like to keep things as clean as possible. But you know, there's a thing like, hey, I walk in, and I walk into a room and I slap all 10 people in the face that are in the room, and then the 11th one smacks me back. I'm like, what are you doing that for? Like, that's where we are with this. Okay. Right? That's where we are. The memes, the pimp hats, the noses, the attacks on my wife, all that stuff. And it's like, I'm just saying, like, I've had people, like, question my military career, my service. That, you know, what do I know about this? What do I know about that? It's like, I actually have some pretty good experience. You know, people say, hey, you keep talking about your military. Like, it's not just that I was in the military, but I actually did jobs at the federal level, you know, that pertain to the job in Congress, actually qualifying, you know, some kind of qualifications to know how the money works, how it gets spent, how it gets allocated. And you know, the guy, he's attacked pretty much, we just talked about this almost every, he's, Ryan Fazio's a Democrat, came out of his mouth. Like the receipts are, they've gone through a lot of trouble to clean up his Facebook, but people have receipts, right? Okay. You know, he's going after Eric Berthel. He's going after Joey Paletta. He's going after John Morris, for God's sakes, one of the nicest guys in the state of Connecticut, and has been a trooper for the Republican Party for long before I even knew politics was a word, if I'm being honest, right? Like, what are we talking about? And then you're going to say, I'm going to unify the party. You know, people have short memories, not that short, right? So that's where we are with it. I think we can't have somebody that's that quick to go off when they don't get what they want. I was at one of those things too, where he went scorched earth on John Morris and his whole crew up there in Kent or something like that. Like, did he just do that? Like, he was given 2 minutes, he took about 10 and yelled at everybody in the room. What are you doing? And it was kind of funny because it was the night before New Milford. I did not have a good night. I worked and people hit me about that all the time. And I'm like, yeah. Hey, I worked 24 hours at the fire department. We got hammered on the overnight, went right into fundraising, and then tried to be a trooper and get there. And yeah, sometimes I'm human. I'm not a career politician. I don't have. If you want a Gavin Newsom to just spit out BS all the time and like that, go for it. But I'm not that guy. I'm going to do my best to be honest with you, tell you what I know. And like I told you, I tell my staff, my campaign manager, I don't want anything put out on my behalf that's not verifiably true. And people are calling this hit. I'm just saying, like, hey, this is our, experience in the district. Here's our experience in the district. And I went down the things that I've been and done, family-wise, business-wise, career-wise. And that's what we have to look at, I think.
I hear you. All right. Like I said, I wanted you to be able to get it out and respond to it, and you have. And you knew you were coming here, and you knew the question was going to come. So you're not
disappointed if it wasn't.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll take another break. Let's get to weather and traffic. And Mark Christopher's back. He is in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Okay, we are back. Reese on the radio with 5th District candidate Chris Shea. Up against Johanna Hayes, if he's lucky, and if the votes swing his way. Otherwise, he has a primary against Jonathan DeBarros. You have been knocking on doors. You had a fundraiser yesterday. Yep. Because I ask everybody this, what is the overall theme when you are door knocking with constituents?
It depends on the neighborhood. It depends on the people.
I don't care what neighborhood it is. If it's in this neighborhood versus this neighborhood, I want to know what the overarching theme is.
The first thing is, say hello, shake their hand, say, tell them what you're doing, and try to encourage a conversation. You ask them what they're thinking about with the election.
Yeah, and what are some of those things?
So, so far so good. What do our numbers say? I mean, we've done about 500 knocks. Is that sound about right?
Yeah.
And I think we have at least what people are telling you, what they say to your family.
Yeah.
But like 90 to 10 is kind of where we are with the, there's some supporters and most of them have been pretty of Jonathan.
No. I mean the topics that they're not about your like what are the things that they're concerned about when you go and meet with them? What you find they're saying. Can you do something about this, Chris?
Right. There's most people are it's the economy's stupid, right?
Right. Sure.
It's funny that both sides are going to fix it. And you and I don't have to tell you that it's rich that the Democrats have been, especially in Connecticut, in charge for 20 plus years. With a super majority for 10 plus, and they're going to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So people are talking about that. They want to know what energy costs. And then people have certain voters will have their hot button. Some of them care about the boys and girls sports thing. Certain people care about immigration. They're fired up. ICE. The fact that our law enforcement are prohibited, and that pretty interesting. What happened in New York today too, right?
Yeah,
that got slapped down at least at that level. It's preposterous, that we're going to prohibit our local law enforcement from cooperating with federal law enforcement, who's there to do a job that
they're fighting that. There's going to be a big fight about that.
Of course, and we're going to lose. There's going to be losers. Connecticut's going to lose. It's going to cost the taxpayers here more money.
Absolutely,
it's unfortunate. And so people are, they're concerned about a plethora of things, but energy costs, taxes, cost of living is the top of everybody's mind, and of course the mass media just keeps pumping that to them regardless.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
When you go out there?
Yeah.
And I think this works because you don't know if you're walking do you have advanced knowledge of the person's door you're walking to?
We do, yeah.
Is a Republican or Democrat?
Yeah, right now. So for right now, we're hitting the primary people who are likely primary voters.
Okay, so likely primary voters.
Yeah. And then that'll change after the primary. And along the way, if I see American flags or 250 things that make me,
you assume as much.
Yeah. We assume, and at least they're proud Americans, so I can talk to them. And we had one guy that showed us all around his backyard and his pond and his koi pond and all this other stuff that he was doing. And he said he would support us after that. He was not on our list, but he was just a guy that we we have to strategy, tactics, implementation, right? We need to implement the tactics based on our strategy that are need to be effective for right now.
Let me make a suggestion.
Yep.
Okay. And again, I know that if there are consultants who are listening, they were just like, that sounds like a bad idea. Boy, this is the reason why you guys suck. And I'm already presuming that you suck. But anyway, if you do make it to the general,
yep,
knock on Democrat doors.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But this is important.
Yep.
Begin your conversation with what are the reasons you'd vote for the other guy or something the other guy should change that he isn't.
Meaning, like, what would make you vote for Johanna?
Yeah, no. Meaning that Johanna Hayes, right? A
Yeah.
perfect example is Johanna Hayes is doing this, that, and the third, right? But Johanna Hayes would vote for us to be a sanctuary state. Is that something that you support? Right? You want to know that. If they do, it's like, no, I think that I absolutely support. Okay, fine. You understand what it is. But what are some of the things that she could change her view on that would make you support her more?
Right.
Find out what that is.
That's a great line of question.
Yeah, no kidding.
I like that.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Find out what the thing is that she isn't doing.
Right.
Not that you need to change your message, but it's so that you understand that every one of those Democrats have something about their candidate they don't like.
Right.
They have a thing that
Some
a
of them really
point
like
of view.
her, but-
That's what I'm saying. I know that some of them really do, but there are the folks who kind of like her, who are leaning towards her, and the reason why they're not is because of certain things that she is. Because I'll tell you, the fact that she's for sanctuary cities is not a big sell on a lot of Democrats, or at least those who know that it's only going to raise their taxes. Right? They understand that.
Right.
And we were just talking about this earlier. That
You mean it's not a good thing?
It's not a great thing for them. For them, they understand. Well, no, for her, it's not a good thing, but for them, it's a far worse thing because they do understand that in order to subsidize those things, they have to pay for it.
Yeah, of course.
And I know they're saying it's like, look, I understand that it's important that we take care of a lot of people, but it's only costing us. I really wish she would moderate on that. Seize on that.
Right.
That's the whole point. Make that a part of your message because those people are going to have to decide at some point whether or not they're going to vote for more of the same or whether or not they're going to change. Right. You know what I mean? And you have got to be that person who's at least interested in listening to the fact that they have those issues.
Right.
That's the only thing that is going to separate you from her. She is not going to listen to Republicans.
Right.
She has no interest in pulling them
I know that.
into her coalition.
Right.
And I tell this to consultants all the time. If you are afraid of the opposition, you'll never get the opposition.
No, listen, I think most human beings agree, other than the crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And we have them on both sides, let's be honest.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
I would argue there's a disproportionate amount.
Way disproportionate, but go ahead.
But, the people agree on 80 to 90% of the issues.
Exactly.
Right? But unfortunately, the mass media, our phones, whatever, the internet gets us to focus on that 10% and try to tear each other apart about it, even though we ought to agree on 80 to 90%. So latching onto those things and then maybe finding the hot button issues. But, it's like anything else. Back to the numbers, right? Like we can only knock on so many doors.
Right.
I think using mediums and ways where we can get to the swayable Democrats, to the because there's some Democrats that are just gone.
Mm-hmm.
The Mandami support.
Yeah, but you're a military guy. You know exactly what I just described as recon.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Right. So all about it. I have no. One of my favorite things in my office in the Pentagon was one of the guys was a pretty staunch Democrat, but a reasonable guy.
Mm-hmm.
We'd go at it all the time, every day about it, and just debate the issues based on why do you think that? And I actually got a great story if we got time for that.
Yeah, sure.
It was interesting because and I think it speaks to me being able to navigate that socioeconomic scale. Right, there was he was a Democrat and I was a Republican. I was a Trump supporter, and it was somewhere around the election times or something about Trump. And we had a guy named T. He was the trash guy that came in every day and did trash. A young black gentleman from D.C., from downtown D.C. And him and I would BS every day. He was an Eagles fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. Don't even ask me.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. Tony
Roma?
No. Way before that.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. I was a Dorsett fan.
Okay.
It's back in the day. But, we would BS about that stuff, and we'd have the LeBron Jordan debate. We'd just BS for 4 or 5 minutes a day. And one day, this guy says to me, this is a couple years into the job, he says something infers that I'm a racist because I'm a Trump supporter.
Right.
And I looked at him and I says, I thought about it for a second. I says, hey, what's the trash guy's name? He says, what? I says, he's been coming in and out of here for a year and a half. What's his name? I says, it's T. We call him T. It stands for Terrell. I said, what sports teams he like?
Damn.
I said, where does his mama live? Philly. She's from Philly. Right. So we went down it. The next day, he's like, get the trash. Hey, T, here's the trash. But I was able to do that in lessons. But the point I'm making is like, hey, because it's been inferred that I can't get into the cities. I can't talk to people that look like you for some reason, like things that are inferred at least. Right. And it's like, T was a black kid from the city that made $20 an hour. Wasn't going to get me a raise, wasn't going to get me advanced in the military, had no political bearing on anything I was doing in that job. He's just a nice kid. He's a good kid that I BS with today. So, and I would talk to him the same way I'd shoot the breeze with the 3-star that was in charge of the entire naval hallway.
I gotcha.
Just the same. We'd BS in the hallway just the same. And it's like, I've had people say that about me, and I didn't even realize I was that kind of guy or that type of person. But that's the way I couldn't have given rip if T was purple with yellow polka dots. He was just a good kid, and and we just got along. And we'd invite him. We'd get snacks and stuff. We'd invite him in. He was always come to our office. He'd get where we had to hang out with for a while. But that's what I can bring to this race. That's what I can bring to Congress. That's why I left the Pentagon with the nickname the Mayor of the Pentagon, because I could navigate that stratosphere of 3, 4 star generals and admirals down to the trash guy and everybody in between, and get stuff done. Find out who, you might have said it before, who has the keys to the castle that can get stuff done. Ms. Verna. Ms. Verna was one of my favorites. She was in charge of the government credit cards for us. She's now you Southern black woman, right? She's from the South, but she wanted to be called Ms. Verna. It wasn't her, I'm going to call by her last name because that's just her customary stuff.
Right, sure.
I would tell these guys, I'm like, idiot buddies, I'm like, hey, when you go down there, she was a Cowboys fan too, so her and I would go back and forth. Oh, what Dak was doing this week, and Zeke was up to it, whatever. And she's such a bee. She's just she's a sweetheart. What are you talking about? The guy who was before me told me, just make sure you call her Miss Verna. She likes that. She likes that formality. So I just call her Miss Verna, and I would BS with her. And she took my credit card, whatever. Someone said, man, she'd give me a hard time. I said, let's go see Miss Verna. Let's go see her. Sir, she called me sir because I was worn out. Sir, how you doing today? We were just, but it's like, hey, man, find out what people like.
Yeah, where they are.
If you can't go into somebody's office and look at the pictures on their desk, see some things and know something about them as what's important to them and relate that, and not from a manipulative standpoint, but just like, hey, that's the stuff they give a rip about. There's 5 pictures of this girl in soccer clothes. Like, I think they give a rip about their daughter's soccer team.
Yeah, it's a good point.
And I used to coach my daughter, so there's something you can relate on there, and people like that. They want to be heard.
I'm hoping that listen, like I said, I've told a lot of these guys that these tactics are like that. I told the former governor of Virginia the same thing. Youngkin.
Yeah.
I told him the same thing.
I said Newsom.
Yeah, no. Youngkin was, the fact is like, stop having these people tell you to not go in the areas where you're automatically going to lose.
He's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, he is. He's a great guy. But the objective is that you need to go into those places and you have to meet them where they are. Because trust me, there's frustration all around, right? And you have to meet them where they are. And you also have to find out what are those things that can turn them around. Not when everybody, there are some people who are locked into their position, but there are those who have some wiggle room.
I think that's a great point, too. And I get Jonathan's appeal to certain people, right?
Sure.
The bull in the china shop, we're going to tear it down and whatever. And I get people are pissed off. I get
right.
Why do you think I'm in this? I mean, look at the Fauci nonsense yesterday and today. I dealt with that first thing. I think I told you, my whole career was on the line. It was going to screw up all my plans,
right.
retirement-wise.
Was this because of the vaccine thing?
Yeah, because of the vaccine stuff. And this jerk, especially now you're seeing his diary and whatever this stuff. I mean, I can't believe you put it in the format that they could get, but yeah, it shows you the arrogance, right?
That's what I said yesterday.
Arrogance and the stuff that they tried to force down. You name it, fill in the nonsense that they were telling us. I understand people.
That one.
I can't say. You want to be pissed off, or do you want? Do you want to actually win?
Yeah.
Do we want a shot at winning? Right. So I make the argument that we have a good shot at winning. We have a team. We have a system. We have a plan to win. We have the money that we're earning to make sure we can battle her, and that's what we get. I'm pissed off. So people. I'm establishment. I'm a.
I think we've reached the P word limit.
Yeah, they're saying that I'm a establishment guy. I mean, everybody's known me since a kid would laugh at that. I'm a Ben Proto guy. I'm a this, that, and the other thing. I haven't talked to Ben Proto in a month. I mean, honestly, I've not talked to the guy since the dinner. Were you at the Bush dinner?
No, I did not go to the Bush dinner.
At the Bush dinner, right? I guess I have to go to those things. Right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you do.
So the things that people can kind of get, the conclusions they can get to online, in conjunction with a little bit of information in their own imagination and whatever, and memes of me. I don't know what to tell you. That's not who I am as a person.
Chris, just run your campaign. That's all you can do at this point. People keep saying the whole thing, but listen, they're not going to do a debate. And I think, look, you have a great argument on that one. I'll tell you this one. Although I said, if these guys want to do a debate, that's fine. The debate at this point, and it is the very valid argument that you are making, is that a debate at this point would only be two guys going after each other's character.
Right.
It wouldn't be about your policies. And the questions would be, because I'll tell you right now, I would ask, it was like, what is your policy on immigration? You would literally be the same answer that Jonathan DeBarros would give, with probably some different
from both sides.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Wall.
So unfortunately, that, look, it's not going to happen. And I think that it's probably far past that anyway, because of the way it's been handled in social media. But I will say this. Early voting is what? The 3rd?
The 3rd.
Begins on the 3rd. And the election is going to be the election. I just want, if there's anything, I want people to pay attention to the goal. And the goal is November. And the goal is to unseat Johanna Hayes. It's a lot of time after the midterms for both camps to come together and for those people to come together and go after, the actual, sort of the prize. Yeah, in this case. And we use that term, figuratively, folks.
Yeah.
but that hopefully is the goal. But this is the way it's got to be done, and you guys are going to do it the way that you're doing it. I wish you both the best of luck. Hopefully at the end of all of this, it being a blood sport and all, everybody shakes hands and walks away. But good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Anything else you want to add? What do you got coming up real quick? You got like 8 seconds.
No, just, hey, listen, get out there and vote, guys. This is important. I think there's a lot at stake here, and we really need you to get out there and vote. Participate. If you don't participate, all you're going to be doing is stuck on the sidelines complaining. So
absolutely. For every non-vote for a Republican is a vote for a Democrat. That's all the way I can say it, So do that. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Thank you, Chris.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Okay. John and Lori and Danko are here. They're sitting down. We'll talk to them in a minute. But you know the drill. We got to do the same thing we always do. News. And today in music news, Phineas, the Grammy-winning singer and songwriter, producer, and brother of Billie Eilish, turns 29. We don't care. He's a baby. Seth Avett, I apologize, singer-songwriter for the group Avett Brothers. Never heard of them. He turns 46. Brad Hardgraves, the drummer of Third Eye Blind, turns 55. I think I know a song by them. I'm not positive. Kate Bush, the English singer and songwriter known for Wuthering Heights and Running Up That Hill, a song I am so sick of hearing. She turned 68. I would have never known that. She turned 68. And Buddy Guy, blues guitarist and rock and roll Hall of Famer, turns 90. Congratulations, Buddy Guy. On this day in music, one of my favorite singers, in 1955, Johnny Cash recorded Folsom Prison Blues at Sun Studio in Memphis. In 1965, the Rolling Stones released their album Out of Our Heads, featuring I Can't Get No Satisfaction, which hit number 1 in the U.S. And in 1966, the Throgs reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 with Wild Thing. In 1991, Metallica released the single Enter Sandman from their self-titled Black album. And in that year, in 1991, I was working at a place called St. Mark's Sounds on St. Mark's Place off of First Avenue when that album came out. And it was the first album I ever sold working at the counter. And I was wearing a beeper, and it went off as I was paying for or charging that person for it. And because the beeper surprised me and it was on vibrate, I charged the guy $15 million and 99 cents. Mark Christopher, he is in the BBS Lawyers Traffic Center.
From politics to news to music to movies and anything above the sun and outer space and beyond, it's Reese on the radio. Damn, he's good. Only on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Oh, I'm having a fantastic time. I knew you folks were going to be great guests to hear on the show. So you don't know these people. They are not celebrities by any measure. They're just entrepreneurs, business folks from the state. And, Lorianne dropped by some T-shirts and brought by these wacky little wooden pieces that I thought were some crazy chopsticks when I looked at them, and they turn out to be pencils. And, of course, they are invented by these wonderful folks, and that is John and Lori and Danko, who are here. Thank you, guys, for these. Thank you for the T-shirts, and thank you for supporting the Reese on the Radio program. John, you came up with this idea. By the way, where are you guys originally from? Where are you from here?
We're from Connecticut, Southington.
Southington. Okay, you're nearby.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And you invented this pencil. Was it out of frustration, necessity? What was it like? How does this, because they always say necessity is the mother of invention, but I feel like for you, this was frustration.
It was frustration.
Yeah.
Scribing tools and gadgets and compasses and all the old school stuff. I mean, if you could see how fat my fingers are.
Yeah.
They're not made for people like us with fat fingers
right.
and hands. And they're just not very easy to use. You lose them all the time. And I had enough.
Mm-hmm.
So we were on a pretty intricate project actually in Glastonbury here in Connecticut, and up on the scaffold, and things were going wrong, and the compass kept moving, the screw was loose on it. I said, this is enough. So I went home and I made up a whole bunch of blocks, took pencils apart, and I started putting the core of the pencils in at different measurements.
Really?
So I could scribe along the round walls. And
so you were just doing this for yourself to make your job easier.
Yes. And then at the end of the week, I had a whole pouch full of these blocks with little pieces of lead sticking out of them. I'm like, this is ridiculous, too. I got to do something else. So I started playing around in the garage with different shapes and different ideas and everything. And I came in the house, I told her, I said, I'm going to make a new carpenter's pencil. And she told me I was nuts.
I thought he was nuts.
So Lori, you heard it when I said it after you dropped them off, that everybody thinks in the beginning, like you can't reinvent the wheel. And I'd always tell people conventional wisdom is bubkiss. It's bull. You really, if you put enough work into it, you can change anything. Of course you can innovate something like this. And here it was, your frustration forced you to do something to solve it for yourself. Right. So you start doing it and you start using it. What was your initial idea? Did you want to start selling this to everyone or just start handing it to your friends?
No, we just started making them for
you guys.
For us. And then we were on a project, and one of the tile guys that was working on the project saw us using it, and he said, I need to get one of those for, like, shower walls and stuff. I said, oh, boy, now we're in trouble. So the next day we called a patent attorney.
Really? Oh, you saw it right there.
I said, well, we were using them for a while,
Okay.
I was making them in the garage, just drilling holes, sticking pieces of lead.
Oh, yeah. So, in essence, you were just literally supplying yourself based on every job that you were doing.
Right.
And then you get one guy who says, hey, man, this would really work on my thing. And you're like, was it right then a star was born, so to speak? It's like you saying, I got to do something?
I got to do something. I said, before, somebody else, steals the idea. Or he starts talking about it and somebody else comes with something. So we just we hired a patent attorney, and years later, after getting the patent and everything, we had a big problem getting into production because nobody wanted to take on the project.
Really?
First. Well, there's only three.
There's 3 pencil manufacturers left in the United States.
Wow.
And it was during COVID, I think, or just before COVID.
It was just before COVID.
And nobody wanted to take on our project. And then, what was it, 2.5 years ago?
Almost three in August.
In August, 3 years. We finally reached out to one of the manufacturers we reached out to before down in Tennessee. And because we did not want to go overseas. And,
really?
No. And that was important to me to keep.
You didn't want any lead coming back.
Oh.
So this is the Handy Scribe.
Correct.
And of course, folks, if you're interested, if you're in construction or in carpentry or what other people, tiles, whatever.
Steel, tile installers, welders. We have a silver insert that is reflective for welders. So the welders, instead of using their soapstone, they can now use a scribing.
Exactly. So go to handyscribe.com and they can order from there.
Yes.
And this manufacturer, I guess, is connected to your website and all that other stuff. So whatever stuff they need. I had a guy call as soon as I showed it. He was like, I need 50 of those. So I hope he went to the website. Jared, if you're listening. Okay, he didn't go yet? Jared, get down to their website, handyscribe.com. Now, John, you and I have crossed paths, obviously, in a weird way, because you listen to the program.
Yes.
And I appreciate you. I don't want to put you out there just like John loves the program. But
he does.
But I do. I want to make sure I get this clear. So Lori probably told me this, and you probably went to yourself and went, I wish you hadn't said that. You weren't really a fan at the beginning.
No,
please don't know this. You don't know how valuable this is to me.
I don't like change.
You don't like change. Okay, I like that.
I listened to Todd for years.
Right, and we love Todd, of course.
He was my slot,
Yeah. So you had a routine that you went to.
Exactly.
I know that too. Can I get to sort of, I would say, sort of relate to you in a way? So because I was a huge Rush fan, which I know you were, Rush would take a day off. And when that opening would come in and the announcer would say, filling in for Rush Limbaugh, I go, damn it!
Oh, same
I was
thing.
kidding, right? Yeah.
Rush, I hated when they filled in for
Yeah,
Rush.
so it was that kind of feeling that I had. So I get it.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. When you probably heard I was filling in, you were just going, who's this guy?
Yeah, who's this new guy?
But it grew on you. How long did it take, if I may ask?
It didn't take long.
Really?
When you took over full time for Todd, I was right in after about a month.
Yeah.
And then you just, I appreciate all the stuff you talk about, and
really,
you crack me up.
Thank you. That part, a lot of people do not understand that about my style. It is, sure, we can be serious when we're serious, but I always want to throw in a little bit of humor. I want people to walk away from their day with a bit of, I guess, joy or just remembering something funny that I thought of. And I was telling you guys behind the scene that I will walk around laughing at myself because I'm monologuing in my head about something I think is funny. So I try really, really hard to make sure I engage you folks in that way. To make sure that you're always thoroughly entertained as well as informed. Lori.
Yes.
Now, you had to suffer with your husband's constant, that guy Reese said this and that. Were you that wife? Because I get that a lot. The wives are saying that their husband comes home and says, Reese said this, that, or whatever.
Yes, he does that often. So then I started listening.
Really?
Yes. And now my son is starting to listen. He's 17. So now he's starting to listen.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So
and my daughter now loves you because she met you last week. So.
Okay, and
She thinks you're famous. So.
She does.
She thinks I'm famous. Oh, I feel awful.
She loves you.
She does. Oh, well, she was sweet. She was absolutely sweet. I thought she was so helpful with you with the phone.
She tries.
It shows exactly where we are as adults. You guys talked a little bit about, well, at least you did, Lori. You really love Roseanne on the show.
Yes, she's
ladies tell me this all the time, and that she is actually kind of really drawn women into talk radio. Do you feel that way?
I think so, yeah. I mean, just her presence and the way that you two interact is so natural that it's like, I mean, you're husband and wife, but it's like husband and wife. We can relate to how you guys are in real life on the radio. It's like you're living your life in front of us.
Yeah, it's very true because I told Roseanne in the beginning when she didn't know anything about radio, she never really understood it. And she was like, what are we doing? And I was like, sweetheart, just be you. I promise you I will never make you be anybody that you're not. I really want you to be you, and I want people to really see who you are. So the feistiness and me trying to grab her by the arm and pull her back, that is all. I tell people all the time, Roseanne has been, in my entire life, she's been the person who has turned me into the Avenger every day. Like, I have to turn around and like, oh, I have to fight someone now. That's who she is, and every day it's the same thing. So I totally appreciate that people have sort of related to her as a voice. But I'm asking you this more of a research reason than anything. Because you said you didn't listen before, but now you started listening. Is that important for women to have sort of that representation on radio?
It is because,
especially in this platform.
Yeah.
They don't have anything.
Right, and we need to hear the voice of women in the conservative movement. Like we hear all of these men talking about all of these issues. And it's nice to relate to a woman who actually has the same views and the same ideas and the same feelings about things.
Yeah, because I think that women as conservatives look at things that are similar to men, but from a different point of view. Aside from just conservatism, but as far as being attached attached to being a mother, raising children, education, fathers being the providers. Conservative men are usually the providers. That rarely do they become sort of like the house mother, and so to speak. Their mothers are generally doing the mother job, but they are still conservative. But hearing from conservative women and having that relationship with them, with the things that they deal with kids growing up, going to college, things like that, becoming older. Perimenopause was a big episode on this show that I did not know was going to be that big. People have come up to us months after and said, I'm so glad you did that perimenopause episode. I didn't even think. She talks to me about perimenopause all day, John, and I will look at her in the face like till my eyes bleed, and I just thought, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I still don't even know what it is.
See? That's what I'm saying. But women immediately related to it, though.
Right.
And that's the good part about it. Now, you have kids.
Yes.
And you have, and I think it's the reason why you invented this, is because you have 6 of them.
We have 6 children.
6 children. And sensitive as it may be, but I'm glad you're asking me to that I can talk about it.
Sure.
You adopted.
We did. Yes.
Can I tell you why I think that's important? And I'm just going to preface that. I want to talk a little bit about that in the next break. I'm going to keep you around for a little bit. I want to talk about it because adoption is something we don't really talk about in this country. We talk a little bit about foster care, but adoption I don't think is really talked about. And if I could, I would like to sort of ask you what that experience is like, because you folks really, really open up your home and open up your hearts to children. And I really want you to share with everyone what that's like for people, not just who may have children, but maybe even some people who cannot. And to say that there is an option and what they might be missing out on and never thought of before. So do you mind if we share that story a little bit?
Sure.
Okay, absolutely. I really, because I think it's important. I wish I was adopted. But no, I'm kidding. I'm teasing my family. But, I think that that's an important issue. But I want to talk a little bit more about Handy Scribe, about your lives, your children, and just everything about you, because I think you guys are so sweet to come out here and appreciate the show. But the love that you guys have shown me has been very, very important. And I want to sort of give a little bit back. So, one, promoting you, promoting who you are, celebrating you for who you are, and, of course, to get this product out the door, if ever could. Because I really do believe that this is so inventive, and I love the story about the kid who couldn't hold the pencil before because of the brain injury. That's such a great story. What a heartwarming story. I want to talk about all that in a little bit. So stand by for that. John and Lori Danko from Handy Scribe are here. We're going to talk to them. And while we go to break, they brought me cookies. Well, Lori brought me cookies. John would never. John respects our relationship.
That's right.
Lori, on the other hand, knows exactly the key to my heart is making me fat. And she brought me, what are these again?
They're butter brown sugar chocolate chip cookies.
Butter brown sugar chocolate chip cookies.
I took the calories out.
You did?
So you're good.
Oh, the calories are out?
Yeah.
Oh, how evil of you. I'm going to eat them anyway. These are fantastic, by the way. And she brought me an entire tin, which is, again, cruel, evil, and mean for somebody to not bring two of them. I'm just saying. She only brought one. But we'll go to break. I'll eat some more of those. Go to handyscribe.com, please, for me, and celebrate my friends and this invention. This is, in fact, it's got America 250 on the pencil, celebrating our 250th anniversary. And you said that one of the T-shirts, what is it? Marker America Great Again.
Marking.
Oh, marking America Great Again.
And you have a pencil over there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
That actually says that. There it is. Oh, and they can buy this, too.
Yes.
They can get
we
these.
We do custom logos.
And custom logos. Look at that. Okay, you have to actually go there. Go to handyscribe.com. We'll continue to talk to David and Lorianne. When we return, let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher's back. He's at the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app. Search WTIC News Talk 1080 and tap earlier today to get started.
We're still hanging out with John and Lori and Danko of Handy Scribe. Go to their website, handyscribe.com, so you can find out everything about these pencils. And you can even get your own. I'm going to get Reese on the radio on mine. That's what I'm going to do because my wife already loves them. Also, you may know that we are starting a new feature on the show. It is called the Moment of Doubt. Which has been inspired by The Daily Show, and this round has been inspired by none other than Dr. Anthony Fauci. The Anthony Fauci Moment of Doubt!
Well, if I become a punching bag, I'm a punching bag, but I am very happy to testify before any Congressional Oversight Committee. I have nothing to hide. I can explain and validate everything that I've done. So, it's going to be inconvenient if they actually are out there essentially threatening to make my life miserable. But I'm going to do what I need to do, and that is cooperate fully, because we have nothing to hide.
Let's try something. What day of the week is it today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color tie are you wearing?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color is the carpet in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment.
Moment of dough. That's kind of when, and the whole theme behind this, guys, the moment of doubt is when you hear these people say one thing, and of course they immediately contradict themselves. Somebody sent me a message earlier today and said, well, it's funny how you don't mention the 400 times when Donald Trump pled the Fifth. And I went, that's kind of the point. When Donald Trump pled the Fifth 400 times, you guys wouldn't stop talking about it. And you said that everyone tells the truth, and Donald Trump doesn't tell the truth. And here it was, Anthony Fauci, the patron saint of runny noses, who had an opportunity to come clean about all the dirty deeds, and he chose to plead the Fifth after he said that he would be completely transparent. Okay, well, yeah, I know he's trying to stay alive, but I would tell anybody who is criticizing me for criticizing Anthony Fauci, talk to me when you've had your 9th booster shot and tell me how you feel. I didn't get vaccinated. Not I. I did not. No, you ain't sticking no needles in me, funny man. Mark Christopher, he's back. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right. I want to thank all my guests today. And, of course, that includes my two who are hanging out with me today, John and Lori, and Danko of handyscribe.com. I'm responding to people who are sending me emails. In fact, people are asking about your pencils here. So we're going to get a couple out to Joe and Jared, who are asking about them. And I think they're in construction or landscaping, or all I know is that it involves wood or lumber or whatever it is. I don't know. I try not to figure out what people are doing. But I wanted to ask you about this because you brought, Lori, when you brought the T-shirts down, you brought your lovely daughter down. And, of course, there was the obvious question. John even brought it up. John says, Reese is going to think I'm black. And I went, immediately in my head, I just went, oh, they adopted. But you're always concerned about whether or not it's almost like asking a woman, are you pregnant? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's touchy. But I knew you did, but I was afraid to ask. But me, because of my infinite wisdom, I said, it's a great conversation to have. Not a bad one. It's a beautiful conversation to have. When did you guys, how long ago did you decide to adopt, and what was the sort of impetus of that? Like, what brought you to that?
So I'll try to make it quick.
Okay.
We had friends of ours who actually went over to Ethiopia to adopt twin daughters.
Oh, wow.
And came back and shared with us that they saw this little boy in the orphanage and told us about him. Mm-hmm. So I talked to John about it, and we started to pursue our first son, adopted son from Ethiopia.
Oh, wow.
So that was back 14 years ago. So he came here 12 years ago at 5. He's now 17.
17.
So 12 years.
Also a fan of Reese on the radio, by the way.
He is. Yes, he is. He is. So from there, we, through our church, there was a young lady who was in the foster care system through DCF. And needed a home to stay at. So we were doing youth group at the time at our old church. Mm-hmm. And we started to pursue foster care with her. And that actually ended
How old was she at the time?
She was 15.
Wow, now that's one of the things that people say. There's a certain age that you don't adopt, or it's very hard to adopt at that age.
Yeah, it was difficult. She had a lot of issues, a lot of trauma.
Okay.
But I had known her, so it wasn't like we were going into it blindly.
Gotcha.
And
she had a relationship with you that she was warm. Right.
She did. It was tough, though. I mean, it was really tough. So within 1 year, we adopted both of them.
Wow.
And then we just continued doing foster care. We had about 30 to 35 kids come through over the past 12 years.
Really?
And then we adopted our daughter. She was 5 weeks old when she came to us, and that was Nora.
Yeah.
And now she's 10.
Nora is adorable. She is so, I mean,
Yes.
absolutely such a sweet girl. And so, you know what, her relationship with you, Lori, was so evident that it was almost like you guys were attached at the hip. I kind of feel like that's... No, there's
she's
a little.
10.
She's 10. Okay, so she's right at that point where she's going to start rejecting the parents, right?
Oh, just mom.
Yeah,
she's daddy's little
She's
girl.
daddy's little girl.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
for
Well,
sure.
that changes. I dealt with it too. Ayla was the same way. She was mom, and then she found out dad had a wallet. And she so like, whoa, that's where the money is, and it completely changed. It happens every time. So in this, so there's a lot of children that you've either fostered, but you've adopted 3, but you are fostering children sort of like in a cycle. What is that like as they're kind of running through? There's
chaos?
Well, I know it's chaos, but what part of the, like, how do you not get the attachment? Because kids, whether they can be crazy, wild, or over the top, you do develop a bond with them that you don't want to almost let them go.
You do, and a lot of people have said, I could never do foster care.
Yeah.
I could never. But our philosophy is, we have 3 biological children too, right?
Yeah.
They don't live with you forever.
Yeah.
They're eventually going to move out. They're going to get married. They're going to have their own lives. So for the time that these kids were in our home, we knew that eventually, whether it's they aged out of the system or they were adopted or went back to their home, we knew that we were just a place for them for safety.
Yeah,
and,
for them to get their lives in order or some sort of normalcy in their lives. But it is almost like running a High School Musical Airbnb bread and breakfast. Like what? It's got to be like just all of those personalities and sort of you got to feed all of those people, Lori. And by the way, if you're making them these kind of cookies, you lucky bastards. I'm jealous of you. Listen, by the way, any adult adopting that you do, I'm teasing. But this is absolute. No, I think that I'm sorry, I'm talking about the cookies now.
Okay.
I think the baking is fantastic. But seriously, what is that? What is that like when they leave and they move on? I mean, I'm sure that the bond is there.
It is. And we still talk to a lot of the kids that have left. Sometimes they disrupt, because it's hard. There's a lot of clashing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of backstory. There's a lot of trauma. And, it's hard for these kids to come into a home that they don't know their parents. And they have a whole life that we don't know about. So it's difficult, but we've had so many kids come back and say, thank you so much. I know that, it was difficult during that time, but we had one foster son who was with us for a while. It disrupted, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But years later, he asked for a recommendation to get into the military, or he would call and say, thank you so much for what you did, and I'm sorry I didn't appreciate it when I was there.
Yeah.
So, there are stories like that.
Yeah.
There are, unfortunately, some stories that weren't like that.
Yeah.
But,
Is it heartbreaking, Lori, ever when it goes south?
It is. Yeah, it's hard because you feel like a failure sometimes. You feel like you didn't do enough. But sometimes just, there's not everybody can get along with each other.
Yeah.
But we try.
I got to give it to you because that in and of itself is it's very noble and it's commendable because it's difficult for me to have company over, much less a bunch of kids come by, I'm sorry, it's true. Because Roseanne and I were watching those HGTV shows where the people are looking for their new home. They're moving from place to place and they're looking. And the couple will always say the one line in those shows on House Hunters. They say the one line that always makes Roseanne and I laugh. the couple will say, "Oh, and this is a great spot for us to entertain," and we go, "We don't do that."
See, and we do that.
You do that. You entertain.
Every Sunday we have people from our church, 15 to 20 people every Sunday.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
More chaos.
Somebody goes to the garage, and I feel like that's you, John.
He does the grilling.
You do the grilling.
I got to cook on Sundays most of the time.
Okay, so but
especially in the summertime.
So I don't want to malign it or to minimize it by saying, is it a part of your Christian faith, or how did the decision or the discussion sort of? How did you broach that? The two of you being married for how many years now? How long?
It'll be 33.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And does that conversation just come up, or I know it was the Ethiopia thing, but how do you?
It was definitely God inspired for sure.
Yeah.
Because I said no.
He did.
Did you?
He did. He said no, and I'll never forget.
I need more headaches, right?
I was just praying about it, and I said, God, if my husband's not on board, then I want to partner on something else. And the next day, he said, "You know what? Let's look into this." And we did.
What changed, John?
I don't know.
It was God. It really was. It was a true God story.
You just woke up and just said...
I was at work all day, and she had said something to me in the morning about adopting and her face, and she, sometimes they give you those puppy dog eyes. But she had said something in the morning before I had left for work, and I just kept
stuck.
thinking about all day.
It stuck.
When I came home, I told her.
And I prayed all day.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? It's a perspective thing, because I understand the whole opening up your house, but in my head, I'm thinking about having to adapt to every new personality that goes in there, and whether or not that can be a psychological overrun. You know what I mean? On my psyche, it's like, okay, this kid's got a different attitude. Maybe this approach that I usually have doesn't work. This one needs some tougher love. How am I going to do that in the same room with 5 different kids where I'm tougher on this one but nicer to that one because of, it's like, ugh.
And that's why you need a community of people. So we had people who were in the foster care system going through it with kids who were in their home and people who have adopted. So it's definitely important to have a group of people that you can talk things over with and say, oh my gosh, today I just want to just run away and hide. They're like, okay. And you just talk it through and you just support each other, and, you definitely need your village.
Yeah, you do.
For sure.
John, this, again, probably one of the coolest things in the world. I'm so glad that you invented it. You guys are, I guess, innovative. You're trailblazers. You're beautiful people. I don't think anybody should not know who you are. I think everybody should know who you are. And I'm glad that you guys listen to my show. And Lori, thank you for coming down here, and Nora as well. John, thank you for listening to the show. We really appreciate that. You guys, we consider you
too.
We appreciate, we call you your family and your friends to this show. Please know that anything you need from me, I've got your back on that. We really, really want this to thrive, because you're doing such good works and you're opening up your home, and that is probably the most amazing thing ever. You are good stewards of your time and the availability in your home to give to these kids who need it. So I'm really, really happy to know you. I'm proud to know you. And we do anything that we can to help you out. I'm sorry that Roseanne wasn't here, because I know she's more important than me most times, but I got the cookies. Go to handyscribe.com, handyscribe.com. You can also get them personalized to your company as well. And do you have a telephone number?
We do. Yes. It's 203-806-1544.
Tell them again.
203-806-1544.
Or go to handyscribe.com.
And if I can make a big plug.
Please.
So HandyScribe this year will be at the Big E for the very first time.
Okay.
From September 17th to October 4th, we will have a booth, and please come by and visit us.
Okay. And that, what you said, what dates are those again?
September 17th to October 4th.
Okay, well, you'll be back before then, because we'll talk about this again. John, you were trying to say something that you didn't want her to forget.
You forgot Lowe's and True Value.
Oh, you can buy these at Lowe's and True Value.
Well, October 1st, we will be on Lowe's.com.
Okay.
And True Value and Do It Best is coming in the future.
Now, before we get out of here, can I expect you folks to be at my birthday party on August 14th at Stadium 15? Please don't tell me you're leaving town.
Camping.
We can make the trip up, though.
Whoa. Where are you camping?
Hammonasset.
Goodness gracious.
That's what I
Do you know what I call camping? You know what my idea of roughing it is? It's a hotel room with no Wi-Fi.
Oh.
That's what I call roughing it. You're going to be out in the wilderness with all the bears.
The beach.
I don't know what that is.
It's the beach.
Oh, it's the beach.
Yes.
Oh, you're going to be in an actual hotel room.
No, we have a little camper.
You have you have a little with the driving little bed thing. The crank and what?
Yeah.
Ugh.
The kids sleep in the tent. We sleep in the camper.
You put the kids out on the street.
Of course.
Of course you do. You open up your home to them.
And then we kick them out.
And then you kick them out.
Just not our camper.
Exactly. So you won't be here on the 14th.
The 16th. Is it the 14th?
Yes, my birthday is on Friday the 14th.
Oh, we'll be here the 14th.
Okay, we'll come to Stadium 15 for my birthday party. Okay?
We'll be there.
Please. All right, and we're going to be broadcasting live from 2 to 6.
Okay.
So we'd love for you to come by and just, say hello, and we can plug you there and whatnot. And you can bring more cookies,
Okay, of course.
All right, thank you.
Some pencils.
Yes, bring some pencils. Give them to the people in the crowd. In fact, Dana, the owner of Stadium 15, where we're having the birthday party, just sent me a text message, and he says, hey, the people that won the tickets are here. I'm going to give them some food. And I don't know why they're here. I told them to be there at 7. I'll meet them in a minute. Okay, so thank you, folks. I really, really appreciate it. John, Lori, and Danko, they are from handyscribe.com. Make sure you check them out and let me know that you checked them out and you purchased a couple of pencils as well. All right, as I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you back here at 2 p.m. with your favorite person, Roseanne. Yes, she'll be back.